Greeting to ladies and gentlemen from the Kingdom of Cambodia. My name is Sim Piseth. You can just call me Sim. I am the local tour guide and I've been working for 15 years. I work for ICS, which is the local tour operator working for Viking, and I started to work for Viking since 2010. I see myself as one of the lucky men in my country in terms of surviving and education. Surviving because I could have survived and live until today. And education, more than my traditional education, I received the sponsorship which allow me to have the modern education. And this modern education, I can speak different languages and then I get a job. I've been enjoying with my job very much because this job more than to grow for my personal life, like supporting my whole family, supporting my brother and sister to get a better education. Now my friend and I in the HVTO projects are working actively to support the people over there. Today, I have the great honor to be hosted by the Viking.TV to share about my personal life, my work, to show different places in my city, and also the projects with HVTO in my own community. This is Chapai Dong Weng, which is the Cambodian traditional music, or we say a long neck lute guitar with only two strings. It has been listed as the World Cultural Heritage by the UNESCO. Traditionally, we play this music to tell the story, to share the information, to tell the joke, and to educate the people by giving information. I'm not a professional player, but since I like it and I got some lessons from the teacher, and now I can play it a little bit. And of course it helped me to enjoy during my free time. Cambodia is the small country in Southeast Asia, bordering to Thailand to the west, Laos to the north, Vietnam to the south, and we have the beach. It is a country rich in history, culture, tradition, and used to have the great civilization in Southeast Asia. However, the history of Cambodia sum up together the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we have been on the right track for more than 30 years, especially after the end of the genocidal regime of Khmer Rouge. Cambodia started to develop and been developing until today. His name is Angkor Thom. This big guy, a little bit lazy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Angkor Archaeological Park. Angkor Park covers the area of 400 square kilometers, used to be the capital city, and there are major 72 temples here. Besides, there are many other smaller temples here. I'm not going to show you all those 72 temples, but we have selected the must 4-see temples. First, Angkor Wat, which is behind me, the most famous temple in Cambodia. built Hindu but changed to be Buddhist. There's a lot of story behind. I'm going to tell you later. And then we will take you to see Angkor Thom with Bayon. And after that, we will take you to see the temple with the tree called Ta Prohm. Finally, Banteay Srei. So I would like to take this tour. I would like to take you to tour Angkor Wat with me. Follow me. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we go inside the temple, I love to take you to this corner of the pool, the very place where I love to take my tourists to come to the corner to see the wonderful view of Angkor Wat. And this is also the very place where tourists who came or come early in the morning to see sunrise, they had to come or they have to come to this place so that they will get the good view of Angkor Wat early in the morning. Reflection in the water, reflection of Angkor Wat in the water is amazing. My choice is that I never take the people to walk from the main entrance directly to the main tower of the temple directly, but I would love to take the people walking to the southern corner here, where we can see a beautiful view. Yeah, this is the path between Angkor Wat on the left hand side and then the Buddhist temple on the right hand side. You heard that Angkor Wat was the Hindu temple in 12th century, but in 16th century it was changed from Hindu to Buddhist. And before the Buddhist monk started from 16th century were living Angkor Wat directly as the main building place for the ceremonial activities. But starting from the French and then the authority, they have their own place. And now Angkor Wat is strictly protected. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the wow of view of Angkor Wat at the southern entrance. It is amazing to see the whole view of Angkor Wat from outside like this. And especially we can see the three towers of Angkor Wat, which are on the national flags of Cambodia. Ladies and gentlemen, we are right here in the first gallery of Angkor Wat. It has three levels, the first here, the second, and then the third. This first gallery runs around Angkor Wat for 1,000 meters. And there are beautiful carvings on the wall here. These carvings tell 7 Hindu mythologies and 1 historical events. But I'm not going to show you all the 7 Hindu mythology, but I have selected the 3 must-see bas-relief inside Angkor Wat. Here is about the King Surya Varaman II, the founder of Angkor Wat, who ruled from 1113 to 1150. This to tell about the historical events that took place in the 12th century during his power, when the eastern part of the country was invaded by the enemy. Then the king fled to the north of the country, living on the top of the mountain, where he trained thousands of fighters. After the training, he had the meeting with his consular commander to discuss when to depart to fight against the enemy to liberate the country. So here is the carving that tell us about the greatest military parade of the King Surya Varaman II. Yeah, having seen this bas-relief, make us proud that one time Cambodia had the greatest military in the world. Proof by this carving. This is the King Surya Varamanda II himself, that he was the great general commander, the great warrior. He also was in the battlefield. We can tell because there's an inscription here, but you know that this inscription, we also knew that this carving was carved after his death, because this was his posthumous name, Parama Vishnu Loka. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the gallery that tells the story about the 32 hells and 37 heavens. This bas-relief still have a very strong influence for the belief for the majority of Cambodian people. I'd like to tell you some point. This is Yama, the god of death and justice. He riding on the water buffalo and has 18 arms. He's the one who judge, who go to the hells and go to the heaven, depending on our activity we do on earth. This is the courtroom, where those dead people or spirit were being judged. Then we can see they are being judged, and then finally the results. Those bad doers were thrown to the hell to get the punishment, and those good doers were sent to enjoy in the heavens. Cambodian people believe very much to the hells and heavens. So that's why we have to be careful what we have been doing on earth, or we are doing on earth, because Buddha said, do good, get good, do bad, get bad. And this carving tell us about the 32 hells and 37 heavens. And there are some punishment sound here underneath, and then the complement on the top. Complement are those who bound in the heaven, living in the fancy palace. There were sevens a way to do and serve, look healthy, wealthy, happy all the time. And their heaven are being supported by Garuda and Narasingha. It's a big contrast for those bad doers who are badly punished in the hells. Look at these people. They were put on the chopping board. They were cut into different pieces. They were hanged upside down the trees and beaten many times. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are here in front of the south gate of Angkor Thom. Angkor Thom is the fortified city stretching over 10 square kilometers, built at the beginning of the 13th century. Actually, Angkor Thom has 5 gates, and each gate has the same decorations. When we are talking about Angkor Thom, we talk about the greatest king of the kings in Cambodia in the 12th century. King Jaya Varamanda VII, who ruled from 1181 to 1220. This is the special corner where you can see the entrance towers with 4 giant faces, and each face looks to the 4 cardinal directions. From this corner, you can see the reflection in the water. Each gate has the same decoration. The special decoration that we can see are the two lines of the statues. Each line has 54 statues. The line on the left hand side is the demons, and on the right hand side is the gods. The number 54 gods and 54 demons represented the 54 provinces of the Khmer Empire in the 12th century. These are the heads of the demons. Some heads are new, some are still original, because many heads were stolen during the Civil War. These are the heads of the gods. So now I like to take you to go inside the Angkor Thom to see one of the most important temples inside the Angkor Thom, that is Bayon. So let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are in front of Bayon, which is the central temple of the city Angkor Thom. So I would like to take you to go inside to see the most beautiful part of the temple. Let's go with me. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the first gallery of Bayon Temple. The same, there are a lot of carvings or bas-relief on the wall, but Bayon has the big contrast between Angkor Wat and Bayon. The carving in Angkor Wat, as you know, they tell us about the Hindu mythologies, but the bas-relief in Bayon tell us about the everyday life and the historical events that took place in the 13th century. For example, here is the confrontation between the Khmer soldiers and the Cham. We identify the Khmer soldier are with short cut here, long ear, or the hair tied back into the bunch, and the Cham soldier were with the long hair dresses. This was the historical events that took place in the 12th century when Cham invaded and controlled us for 4 years from 1177 to 1181. Finally in 1181 they were badly defeated by the king Jayavarman VII, the founder of Angkor Thom and also the founder of Bayon Temple. Because of his victory, Cambodian people continue to celebrate his victories until today, with which we celebrate the water festival and the boat racing. So let's go inside to see some of these beautiful carvings that tell about the everyday life of the people in the 13th century. So ladies and gentlemen, right now we are here in Ta Prohm Temple, which was built by the same king of Angkor Thom and Bayon, King Jayavarman VII. He built this temple in 1186 to dedicate to his mother. Ta Prohm is the modern name given to it when it was changed to be the Buddhist temple. But original name was Raja Vihara, means the royal monastery. He dedicated this temple to his mother. Ta Prohm is one of the most famous temple in Angkor Park because it was left to be swallowed by the jungle, and it was the temple part of the Tomb Raider, but the most famous part of the film. So I would like to take you to tour inside to see the most beautiful part of the temple. So please follow me. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that you have enjoyed the tour inside Ta Prohm with me. So now I love to take you to tour inside Banteay Srei, which is located about 35 kilometers away from here, known as the Temple of the Women or the Citadel of the Women, the jewel of the Khmer art built from pink color sandstone. So let's go to see. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, right now we are here in Banteay Srei Temple. Banteay Srei means the citadel of the women. And this temple was rediscovered by the French in 1914, but they could have restored it in 1931. After the restoration, they thought that this temple should have been built in 15th century. The motif here should have copied from Angkor Wat. But after the translation of the inscription inside, they knew that it was built in 10th century. It's a big surprise. And Banteay Srei is well known with its intricate carving built of pink color sandstone. So I would like to take you to go inside to see these amazing carvings. Today I will take you to visit the city center, or we can say it is the city tour. Let's go to see what else we can see beside the temple. So follow me. Here on the right hand side, we have the Angkor National Museum. This museum opens 12 November 2007. Highly recommended to go to the museum if you have time. You can either visit the museum before or after your visit to the temple. It's open from 8:30 in the morning and closed at 6 o'clock in the evening. So, if you have time, Alright, right now we are here inside the park of the royal residence. Beautiful park, but it is under the renovation. Just right here on the right hand side. And then on the left hand side is the Raffles Grand Hotel. That is the oldest hotel in town, built in 1929, and it was renovated in 1992. Could be the very first hotel to welcome the first tourists to Cambodia. Alright, so now we walk inside the park to see all these taller trees, because you know that on top of these trees there are thousands of flying dogs, and normally from 5:30 to 6 o'clock these flying dogs start to fly away and they return home, they return back before dawn. Okay, so now I take you to see those flying dogs on the top of the trees. Do you know that? It's a big bats. Big bats. Let's try to... Do you hear the sound? One thing that you need to do is that when you go underneath of this tree, look up but do not open your mouth. You know, you understand what I mean? Alright, so right here. It's hard to see them, but just hundreds of them. Can you see that? Yeah, those are the flying dogs. Yeah, that's the only place you can see them here. Many of them on these trees. I take you to see the Buddhist shrine, the most popular shrine, or considered to be the holiest shrine for Cambodian people, especially they come here on the sermon day, or we say Buddha Day. It's the holiest day for Cambodian people to come and pray to the two statues of Buddha inside the shrine. They are very historical, right? So I have to put on the mask when I get closer to the people, yeah, to protect myself and also to protect the other people also. So what I'm going to do is to go and buy the flowers from some of these people so that we can go to offer to the Buddha and we pray for the holy blessing from the Buddha. Okay, មានផ្កាយផ្សេងទៀតទេមានផ្កាម្លេះបងយកផ្កាម្លេះធំតូចអត់ទេបានមានតែពីរហ្នឹងបានកាន់ស្រាប់បាន Typically is the lotus flowers considered to be the holiest flowers to pray to the Buddha. So I have these two flowers to go to the Buddha. Okay, this is another part of the city. On my right hand side is the royal residence. When the king comes to Siem Reap, he will stay here. But this area will be blocked and no people are allowed to go around here. Yeah. So mean that he's not here, and then I can come just right close to the royal residence, which is on the right hand side. That is the picture of our former king, King Norodom Sihanouk, and what is written underneath អបអរសាទរខូបលើកទី67បុណ្យឯករាជ្យជាតិឆ្នាំ 1953 ឆ្នាំ 2020 We celebrate the 67th anniversary of Independence Days, yeah, from 1953 to 2020. From whom? From the French. You heard that we were under the French colony for 90 years. Behind me is the Siem Reap River. It is very historical river, built in 9th century. First was to use as the Ganges River, because on top of the Gulen mountain where this river come from, they are carving known as Thousand Linga River. So the water flow over the Linga become the holy water here. And second was to transport the stone to build the temple. So the temple that we saw, they have the stone transported on this river. So if you come to Cambodia, especially in November, you might encounter the big water festival where thousands of people from the countryside are coming to join this water festival, because there will be boat racing on this river. So I would like to take you to tour around the Buddhist temple, but now it's getting late. I like to take you first to the main temple, which is the Vihara, because it's closing soon. Then we will walk outside to see different buildings. There are many different buildings in the Buddhist compound. So please follow me. There are Buddhist monks praying inside now. Let's see if we can get closer. This is the regular routine of the Buddhist monk to do that. They do this 2 times every day, early in the morning and in the evening. So since we are not allowed to go inside when they are praying, let's us touring around outside. All right, so this is the Buddha biography. I'm not going to tell all this story to you here since it takes hours, but just to see some of this. It starts from the very beginning, to the end over there. It's all telling about the Buddha. Yeah, this part is really interesting. Yeah, this one. Well, actually, the father of the Buddha really tried hard not to let the Buddha to become Buddha. He wanted him to be great king. So that's why he been keeping and comforted him to live in the royal compound until he learned everything, got married, had one son. And when he was very bored, when he was 29 years old, he was very bored. And then he asked his driver to come outside. Then he saw 4 different things that he never saw in his life. First, the older man. He never saw older man in his life. Then he asked the driver. Driver answered everything. Everyone get old. It was a shock for the Buddha. Then he saw the sick man. Again, asked the driver, and the driver said, everyone will get sick. So he feel very shocked when seeing the man with sickness. And then he saw the dead man. And then the driver told him again that everyone will die. Then finally he saw a very peaceful, holy man. The driver explained that this is a group of people who give up everything. They become holy man and try to find the truth in life. And finally, they might find the truth in life. Then the Buddha said, I can do that. Then he committed to be the holy man. So then the story go on and on. Yeah, this is to tell that after he became the holy man, he been studying with different teachers, and then he found that it's no way for him to get the enlightenment. And then he went on for the sever practice for 6 years, and finally he got an enlightenment. Yeah, when he was 35 years old. This was the very first sermon given to the 5 sevens that been working to help him to serve him during his sever practice. So very first sermon of the Buddha. All right, so now we go outside to see different part of the Buddhist temple. This is the Buddha garden, the same like we saw in the bas-relief inside the gallery. Prince Siddhartha with his driver to go outside of the royal compound, and he encountered the 4 different things. So let's go a little bit deeper inside the monastery. You know, in the surrounding of the Buddhist monastery, you always encounter what it is called stupa, like cemetery, in your country. So every family in the surrounding village tends to have one stupa for their ancestor. Could be for their grandparent, great-grandparent, or anyone in the family who passed away will end here in the stupa. But it's not the whole body. Yeah, it's the bone in the urn, and the urn go into one of these stupa. They have different form. It could be the stupa like this. It could be the small hole, like that. And some rich family can afford like a house like this. And this is very practical. Very practical. Why? Because more than just to dedicate to their ancestor, but they offer us the accommodation for the Buddhist people. It could be the monk, the layman, laywoman, or anyone who privileged to come and stay in the Buddhist temple. They have the place to stay. So for us, when somebody using this place, we feel that they are blessed for this life and also for the future. All right, so right now I am right in the city center, known as the Old Market or the Pub Street. Behind me is the old market. Well, it closed. There's some shops still open. They converted it to be the night market. The difference between the old market, the day market, and the night market, they just turn on the light in the nighttime. Means that everyone's selling the same things. And then over there, you can see the French colonial building, because it was the area that been developing by the French since 1929. Yeah. So we still have the French building. We call also the French architectural style. So now I would like to take you to the night market, the Pub Street, which was the very popular area for everyone who come to Siem Reap. You know, besides visiting the temple during the daytime, and in the nighttime, they love to come to see the Pub Street. That is the famous place in Siem Reap town. You know that in Siem Reap, the typical transport for tourists is tuk-tuk. Everywhere you go, you can find them everywhere. And mostly the drivers speak good English. Remember just one thing: what is your hotel name? And then just tell him the hotel name, then he will take you to the hotel. And it costs typically from $3-4. It depends on the distance. All right, so I hope that you enjoy the tour with me today. Now let's go home. Hi everyone. Now I am in my hometown, which is Srei village. Well, actually Sopi is my own village, and Srei here close to each other. It is my hometown. It is about 25 kilometers from Siem Reap town, and it takes around 45 minutes to come from Siem Reap to here. You know that I love quotes and saying, and one of the best quotes from Audrey Hepburn, who said, as you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands. One for helping yourself, and other is for helping others. I realize that I have been doing this because I've been working so hard to support myself and my own families. And other, I've been working actively with my HVTO team to support the children and people in my own community. The people call me a founder or the director, but I'm not a rich man like Warren Buffett and George Soros or the other rich people to put a lot of money into this foundation alone. I have been just a little bit lucky in terms of little education that allow me to integrate myself into the globalization, what is happening now in Cambodia, that this allow me to become self-sustainable. I get a good job to support myself. And with this job, it giving me the opportunity to know a lot of people all around the world, that they all together, both the volunteer from Cambodia, the volunteer from outside, new people come in to go into the snowball, and our ball keep rolling in the HVTO organization. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to take you to meet my team in the HVTO Center, and I will tell you what HVTO with its project been doing to help children and people in this community for the last 10 years. បាទយល់សួរបងសុខសប្បាយបាទចូលមិនអន់សុខសប្បាយកានមិនពូណាំបាទអរមែនណា Normally I've been busy normally on top around, yeah, especially with my job, but on site I have all these people to work. We still have two more. They working somewhere. Bong Serai, actually in the spirit of the community for the HVTO Crow and self-sustainability, he's a key man. We call him the village ambassador. He played a very important role to engage the HVTO and the people in the community. So it's very important to help him. And then on, he one of the teacher who started with us since we started HVTO in 2008, and he also then sponsored by one of my friends from England, Simon Johnson, and his wife for his higher education in the university. He graduated from the university majoring in teaching English as the foreign language, and now he promoted to be the schoolmaster, overseeing all the education program and curriculum in the center. And then we welcome Kwang Kan. Actually, Kwang Kan is one of our successful students who sponsored by one of our sponsors from Oklahoma, United States. Well, he one of the former Viking guests. He sponsored Kwang Kan for his university, and now he admitted to the HVTO team responsible to oversee the sponsor student. And then we also have Poonam. Actually, Poonam, she was a little girl having attended in our classroom in 2008, and now she grew a woman. She got married and she's having the baby now. All right, and she come here, part of the teacher, but she's working in the human resource department. I would like to take this opportunity to take you to tour around the HVTO Center, and I'm going to show you what HVTO and HVTO team been doing to help the children and the people in the community. So please follow me. Now we go to see one of the classroom. Hi everyone.
Hello, teacher.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Please sit down.
Thank you, teacher.
Have you enjoyed learning English?
Yes, teacher. We had very nice.
Great. So we had the first piece of land and the building. Then Viking management started to do the fundraising within the Viking staff all over the world to have the first money given to HVTO so that we could equip the material inside like table, board, electricity, many other things to facilitate our teaching process inside the classroom. There are 4 rooms in this building that we use 3 of them as the English classes, then 1 is the computer class. So I would like to take you to see one of these rooms, which is the computer class. So please follow me. For me, I understand that English is very important, the key to the job. But the most important is the knowledge of using the computer. I remember that when I wanted to be the reception in a hotel, I failed at the interview because I didn't know how to use the computer. Luckily that I met my sponsor from Australia who paid for my computer course. So I had my computer knowledge, what I can use in the office. Then with this idea, we thought that it's very important to set up the computer classes for the kids in the village. So this is our computer classes that we have 2 terms of every year. It takes 6 months, and this 6 months we teach the kids to learn typing, English and Khmer, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and now we added the accounting program to use the QuickBook. We have been working to selectively choose some of the best students who are outstanding, hardworking, but the family will not be able to support them for their higher education. We select them into the sponsorship program. So far, we have enrolled 304 students into the sponsorship for education. And here are all the profiles of those 304 students. Now we go to see our reading room and also the library. For me, myself, I'm very grateful and very happy to have this room. Thank you so much here for the support, especially thank you so much to the partner and donor from Hong Kong to have given this library for us. This is the middle room, the reading room. It is a little bit bigger, and the kids love to come to read the book inside this room. Actually, in this room is a little bit cooler in the other room. So this is good for them to sit down here because we didn't have the air conditioning. Well, we have the fans, we have the window, yeah. But it is a good place for the kid to come and read. Our HVTO team has been very happy and very grateful. Happy because we are doing good thing for the children and the people in the community. And we can see that the big impacts and change are being brought for their life. We are grateful to all our friends, sponsors, donors who have given hands to make this center grow in a remarkable place and achievement for all of us.